Deep within the ancient black forests of northern Romania, woodcutters once spoke in hushed voices about a terrifying creature known as the Shadow Walker. They believed no one could ever face it, because every time a person tried to look directly at it, the creature somehow slipped behind another tree before their eyes could focus. Witnesses described it as unnaturally tall, with a body so thin it almost blended into the trunks around it. They claimed it moved without making the slightest sound, crossing impossible distances in only a heartbeat. Travelers were warned never to wander alone after sunset, because anyone who lost sight of the campfire might never return. The earliest surviving tale appeared in an old village journal from the late 19th century, where local hunters recorded several unexplained disappearances in the mountains. Although many historians consider those stories exaggerated, they reflected the genuine fear people experienced while spending weeks isolated inside endless forests. As years passed, the Shadow Walker became a symbol of everything humans cannot fully understand. Some legends insisted the creature hated the smell of burning pine resin, which is why many woodsmen carried small torches long after daylight. Others believed it hunted only those who surrendered to panic, feeding on fear instead of flesh. Modern psychologists often compare these experiences to the human tendency to misinterpret moving shadows and familiar shapes in darkness. When branches sway in heavy wind and moonlight constantly shifts between ancient trees, even ordinary sounds can convince the mind that something impossible is following every single step. High above the rugged valleys of eastern Slovakia, another mysterious legend has survived for centuries. Villagers still whisper about a monstrous flying beast called the Iron Screecher. According to old descriptions, it possessed the wings of a gigantic eagle, the body of a reptile, and a hooked metallic beak capable of crushing bone. Witnesses claimed glowing eyes pierced through thick mountain fog, while long claws lifted animals from lonely pastures during silent nights. Its terrifying cry echoed across cliffs, sounding like rusted machinery grinding through stone. Local tradition says wandering shepherds first spoke about the beast after strange livestock disappearances frightened isolated communities. During the early 20th century, regional newspapers printed several dramatic accounts describing unusual shapes circling above the mountains, attracting treasure hunters, journalists, and curious travelers. Some believed the reports were invented simply to increase newspaper sales, while others insisted dozens of respected witnesses could not all be mistaken. The final major report appeared decades later, after several hikers claimed the enormous creature disappeared into a collapsing cave following a violent thunderstorm. Since then, no confirmed encounters have ever been recorded. Yet the Iron Screecher remains deeply rooted in regional folklore, reminding people how quickly fear and mystery can spread whenever nature refuses to provide simple answers. In the remote farming village of Black Hollow in Western Canada, an event took place that locals still refuse to explain. During the autumn of 1975, a farmer named Daniel Mercer reported hearing strange tapping sounds outside his barn shortly before midnight. Expecting to find a wild animal, he stepped outside carrying only a flashlight. Instead, he claimed to witness a bizarre gray creature standing silently near an old fence. It was no taller than a young child, yet its body looked completely unnatural. It balanced on 3 powerful legs, while 2 thin arms hung motionless beside its chest. Its enormous, pale eyes reflected the light so brightly that Daniel compared them to glowing lanterns. The creature remained perfectly still for several seconds before releasing a low shriek, unlike any animal he had ever heard. Then it launched itself across an open field in 3 impossible leaps, disappearing into the darkness before anyone else arrived. The following morning, unusual tracks were discovered pressed into the wet soil. Each print resembled a large canine footprint, but contained 6 rounded pads, instead of the usual 4. News of the incident spread rapidly across nearby towns, attracting reporters, amateur investigators, and curious visitors hoping to witness the mysterious animal for themselves. Local authorities repeatedly warned people not to wander through private farmland searching for monsters, insisting there was no evidence of any dangerous creature. University researchers later examined the case as an example of how fear rumors and media attention can transform a single unexplained event into a lasting legend. While skeptics argued that witnesses had simply misidentified an ordinary animal, many residents remained convinced that something truly extraordinary had visited Black Hollow. Even today, the Gray Leaper continues to occupy a unique place in modern cryptid stories because no explanation has ever fully accounted for every reported detail. One of the strangest mythical beings ever described is the sky stag. At first glance, it appears to combine the elegance of a majestic deer with the terrifying power of an enormous bird. Its powerful antlers, neck, and muscular chest resemble a giant mountain stag, while its feather-covered wings, sharp talons, and long tail belong to a creature built entirely for flight. Ancient stories claim the sky. Stag can soar thousands of feet above the clouds, disappearing for days before silently returning to the forests below. Yet the most disturbing part of the legend involves its shadow. According to folklore, the creature casts the shadow of an ordinary human until it claims its first victim. Only after that mysterious moment does its shadow reveal the outline of its true winged form. Many storytellers believed this represented a trapped soul forever bound inside the beast. Medieval chronicles from Central Europe mentioned similar creatures guarding forgotten mountain passes. Though no two descriptions were exactly alike, modern folklore researchers view the sky stag as a powerful symbol of dual nature, representing both beauty and danger existing within the same mysterious being, although no scientific evidence has ever supported its existence. The legend continues inspiring fantasy novels, films, games, and artwork, ensuring the creature remains unforgettable for generations. Along the freezing shores of northern Norway, fishermen have passed down stories about a terrifying creature known as the frost mare. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than a magnificent white horse standing alone near the water, with its long mane flowing gently in the icy wind. Many travelers believed it was a lost animal waiting for help, but the truth, hidden beneath its beautiful appearance, was said to be far more horrifying. According to legend, the frost mare waits patiently beside frozen lakes and lonely coastlines until someone approaches close enough to touch it. The instant a rider climbs onto its back, the creature transforms. Its smooth skin becomes impossibly sticky, trapping the victim forever before charging into the freezing sea without slowing. Once beneath the dark water, escape is said to be impossible. Old tales claim the beast devours everything except a single bone that eventually washes onto the shore, reminding nearby villages of those who disappeared. Some versions of the legend say the creature can also appear as a handsome traveler wandering through snow-covered settlements. Yet careful observers believed they could always recognize it because strands of wet seaweed clung to its hair, and strange hoof-shaped footprints appeared wherever it walked. Unlike other mythical water spirits, the frost mare was believed to prefer deep northern fjords where powerful currents made rescue almost impossible. For centuries, parents warned children never to follow mysterious horses standing alone near the coastline. Even today, abandoned beaches covered in heavy fog continue inspiring stories about the creature, proving that some legends survive simply because they perfectly capture humanity's fear of the unknown power hidden beneath calm water. Far away in the quiet countryside of southern Belgium, another unexplained mystery appeared without warning and disappeared just as suddenly. During the spring of 1983, 3 different witnesses reported seeing a bizarre creature unlike anything previously recorded. Each described a small, pale figure, standing less than 5 feet tall, with an oversized, rounded head, impossibly thin arms, and glowing amber eyes that reflected every nearby light. Despite being observed by different people in separate locations, their descriptions matched almost perfectly. The first witness was a university student driving home late at night when he noticed the silent figure standing motionless beside an abandoned stone bridge. Unable to understand what he was seeing, he stopped his vehicle for only a few moments before the creature quietly disappeared into nearby trees. Later that same evening, another resident described encountering an identical figure several miles away. The following night, a third independent report reached local authorities. Once again, the strange being showed no signs of aggression, leaving behind neither footprints nor physical evidence. Only several sketches created from eyewitness accounts remained. Investigators proposed explanations ranging from escaped animals to elaborate pranks, yet none successfully matched every detail provided by the witnesses. Since that brief series of encounters, no confirmed sightings have ever occurred. Nevertheless, the Pale Watcher remains one of the most fascinating modern mysteries, because it seemed to appear from nowhere. Observe humanity in complete silence, and then vanish forever without leaving a single answer behind. The final creature in our collection is unlike ancient monsters or forgotten legends, because its story began during the modern digital age, long before people accepted it as internet folklore. Strange discussions started appearing across online communities, describing a mysterious figure called the Hollow Gentleman. Witnesses imagined an impossibly tall silhouette, dressed in dark clothing with no visible face, standing silently at the edge of forests, empty roads, and abandoned buildings. Despite having no confirmed origin, the image spread with incredible speed, inspiring thousands of stories, illustrations, videos, and fictional reports. Within only a short time, countless people claimed they had experienced disturbing dreams involving the same faceless stranger. Some described hearing footsteps outside their homes, while others believed they noticed the figure watching from distant tree lines. Although every account differed slightly, the central description remained almost identical: an unnaturally tall body, impossibly long arms, and complete silence wherever it appeared. Psychologists explained that the phenomenon demonstrated how powerful shared imagination can become once a compelling idea spreads through the internet. Creative communities expanded the legend through artwork, games, novels, and short films, gradually transforming the Hollow Gentleman into one of the best-known fictional horrors of the digital generation. Researchers studying online culture often point to this phenomenon as evidence that modern myths no longer require centuries to develop. Instead, millions of people connected through technology can create entirely new legends within only a few months. Even though no physical evidence has ever supported the existence of the Hollow Gentleman, its influence continues growing, because every new generation discovers the story and adds another layer to its expanding mythology. Whether viewed as entertainment, psychological suggestion, or genuine mystery, it remains one of the clearest examples of how imagination can shape collective belief in the modern world. Some mysteries survive because evidence proves them. Others survive because people simply refuse to stop wondering.